Not yet connected with Kurt Mexican, but we're trying our best, and we'll have him on as soon as he connects. But in the meantime, I will plow ahead. The Pentagon has just announced that it is going to be scaling back military support to Ukraine. And somebody who is not happy about that is staunch Ukraine proxy war supporter Mitch McConnell, who voiced his displeasure during a appearance in Congress by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
One thing I'm sure we agree on is we don't want a headline at the end of this conflict. It says Russia wins and America loses.
So this is what Mitch McConnell's worried about right now. He's not worried about a war grinding on in which hundreds of thousands of people have died. He's not worried about the worry about escalation, which has just increased in light of Ukraine's recent drone attack on Russia's nuclear triad. He's worried about a headline at the end of the war in which Russia wins and America loses. Let's just watch that again.
One thing I'm sure we agree on is we don't want a headline at the end of this conflict. It says Russia wins and America loses.
First of all, why would the headline even be Russia wins, America loses if it's Ukraine fighting Russia? Like it's Ukraine that is losing to Russia right now. They've lost 20% of their territory thanks to people like Mitch McConnell who have encouraged this proxy war at every single turn. So the headline wouldn't even be America loses because we're not even the ones fighting. It's Ukraine and Ukrainians that are dying on behalf of people like Mitch McConnell. But the contempt these people have for Ukrainians is that they can't even acknowledge that Ukraine is in the fight, is the main combatant, right? It's all about America. It's so self-centered because we've used this as a proxy war. But it's just incredible that the sacrifice of Ukrainians doesn't matter to these people so much that he only sees this in terms of like America losing somehow because Russia defeats Ukraine. That's Mitch McConnell for you. So here's more.
And given the fact that all of our adversaries are communicating with each other, that's extremely important if we're going to continue to play the role in the world that the vast majority of members of Congress think we should still play.
So what is he saying there? Given that U.S. adversaries talk to each other, it's really important that the U.S. not get embarrassed if Ukraine loses the war. And he says that hurts our role in the world. So what does he mean? He means the U.S. as the top hegemon. Because if the top hegemon doesn't achieve all of its goals inside Ukraine, which is basically to use Ukraine to destroy Russia, then that's going to look bad for the rest of the world. So Mitch McConnell is admitting, first of all, he doesn't care about Ukrainians. All he cares is about using Ukrainians as cannon fodder to help the U.S. role in the world and its image as the top hegemon. Let's hear this one more time.
And given the fact that all of our adversaries are communicating with each other, that's extremely important if we're going to continue to play the role in the world that the vast majority of members of Congress think we should still play, particularly.
Notice how nothing here is about the fate of Ukraine. Does any of this help the people of Ukraine? He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It's all about how our adversaries view our role in the world as the top hegemon, which would somehow take a hit if we don't achieve all of our goals in destroying Russia, which happens to entail the destruction of Ukraine and the sacrificing of countless Ukrainian lives.
Now our adversaries are more significant than they have been since the Berlin Wall came down. With regard to the money we're spending, what's the return on the investment of our security assistance to Ukraine?
So he's asking Pete Hegseth, what's the return on our investment? So we're investing in Ukraine to do what? To degrade and destroy Russia, our adversary. And Pete Hegseth is just going to point out, hey, what Trump wants to do is not get involved in a proxy war aimed at destroying Russia. He actually just wants to end the war now for good. This is what happens.
Senator, I would just say, given the approach of President Trump, That's not the headline. Regardless. The previous administration, under the Obama administration, Crimea was invaded, and we gave them blankets. Under President Trump, during his first term, he gave the Ukrainians javelins, and the Russians did not invade. Under Biden, the Russians did invade, and aid was slow-walked incompletely, and as a result, it became a gridlock. Thankfully, the javelins that President Trump provided actually stalled the Russian advance. Now we are in a place where Vladimir Putin knows that President Trump is strong. He knows his word means something, and as a result, a negotiated peace in Ukraine makes America look strong.
Okay, my bad, actually. I gave Pete Hegseth way too much rope there. He's not arguing that actually we should make peace just for the sake of peace. He's saying that peace makes America look strong, and therefore it's okay to do. And he touted all the hawkish things that Trump has done in Ukraine. It's true. Trump did send weapons to Ukraine that Obama wouldn't send. And he's apparently very proud of that. What nobody can say is, why are we engaging in a proxy war against Russia, another nuclear armed power? Nobody in Washington, whether you're for the proxy war or against it, can say this is a bad idea. It's not leading to anything good. It's just killing a lot of people and threatening the planet. Pete Hegseth has to sell it to Mitch McConnell by saying making peace now makes America look strong.
Makes us look like we understand the state of the world and where we want to be focused, even if we understand that Russia's the aggressor and we applaud the efforts of the Ukrainians. There is a moment where you have to recognize what exists on the battlefield and that a better outcome is a negotiated peace to stop the killing and stop the slaughter.
All right, so that's at least some acknowledgement of reality that, hey, like whatever your goals are, the battlefield is favoring Russia right now, so it's time for a negotiated peace. But, this is what Mitch McConnell's been saying for a long time. He doesn't care about the fate of Ukraine. He just cares about using it to degrade Russia. This is him speaking on the Senate floor during the debate more than a year ago about spending another $50 billion on the Ukraine proxy war.
The Ukrainian people are courageous and innocent, and they deserve our help. President Zelensky is an inspiring leader, but the most basic reasons for continuing to help Ukraine degrade and defeat the Russian invaders are cold, hard, practical American interests. Helping equip our friends in Eastern Europe to win this war is also a direct investment in reducing Putin's future capabilities to menace American, threaten our allies, and contest our core interests.
So there you go. This is not about helping Ukraine. He throws in a line about how brave they are. This is about what he says are cold, hard American interests. And what does he mean by that? Degrading Russia's ability to threaten our interests, which means our ability, as he explained in the earlier clip, to be a hegemon, to control the world, because Russia, because it's a nuclear armed power, has pushed back, especially in its corner of the world, on U.S. hegemony. And that's why Mitch McConnell wants to keep this war going, to continue that goal, to degrade Russia. And who cares how many more Ukrainians die as a result. But they're having a hard time selling this right now because Russia, despite the recent embarrassment that it suffered with the Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian nuclear triad, now Russia is still winning the war on the ground. It's taking 20% of Ukrainian territory and it's taking more. So how are people like Mitch McConnell and other warmongers trying to keep the public on board? Well, let's listen to NATO chief Mark Rutte. This is how he tried to sell the European public on the need to continue the Ukraine proxy war and spend more of their tax money on the military-industrial complex as opposed to social services.
Produces in 3 months what the whole of NATO produces in a year. And its defense industrial base is expected to roll out 1,500 tanks, 3,000 armored vehicles, and 200 Iskander missiles this year alone. Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. 5 years. Let's not kid ourselves. We are all on the eastern flank now. The new generation of Russian missiles travel at many times the speed of sound. The distance between European capitals is only a matter of minutes. There is no longer east or west.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, how you doing? Kurt Metzger.
Hold on, I got to come back in.
Okay. So that's Mark Rutte, NATO Secretary General. What's his pitch to the European public? If we don't keep this proxy war going, then Russia is going to invade us. Never mind that it's taken 3 years for Russia to take 20% of Ukrainian territory. Never mind that Ukraine has special significance to Russia. There are millions of people inside Ukraine who consider themselves to be ethnic Russians, and they've been at the center of this conflict that's been going on inside Ukraine for more than a decade because of the U.S.-backed Maidan coup that began in 2014. Never mind all that. If we don't stop Russia and Ukraine, they're going to come and invade us. So that's the argument. Fear mongering about a mythical Russian invasion of Europe if Russia is not defeated in Ukraine. And also an appeal to cold, hard American interests, which is basically let's sacrifice Ukrainians, let's risk nuclear war just so we can degrade another nuclear armed power. Over to Misha. You're muted, Misha.
I was saying I've got nothing, so I guess it's fine that I was muted. I'm looking, nothing's coming through. Nothing.
We got nothing,
no
huh?
chat.
Okay.
I got
All
nothing.
right.
But Kurt,
Oh, words?
there
Nice.
he is. Look at it.
Oh my
Here
God.
it's working now.
Hey,
all right.
there was a arrest here supposedly in Austin for like a miniature version of LA, but I didn't see it.
Well, yeah, you're missing out, Kurt, being in Austin right now, and there's a lot of fun to be had over here.
With a lot of ice. Isn't it just downtown? It's not like everywhere, right?
Yeah, no, it's just downtown. Just downtown. Aaron, do you need to set up for your next story?
Well, that's what I'm talking to Malcolm about right now.
Okay.
Malcolm, get back to me, but we can keep chatting as I'm doing that.
You
Kurt,
see
how's it
BB
going?
documentary? Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah.
And we'll go back to Aaron and Kurt.
Would you
Well,
ask
Kurt,
me?
how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. I just was watching that BB Inside BB Netanyahu documentary.
Oh, I haven't
You're the
seen
one
that.
that got pulled?
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that the one? Do they have the clip where he brags about how he can basically control and like manipulate America into doing what he wants?
Oh, they got clips of the Adelsons in the interrogation room talking about what scumbags the Netanyahus are.
Yeah.
And how they think they're going to stop talking to them because they're the worst.
Yeah.
This kid's a psychopath. Like they kept calling him ultra right wing or something. And basically, he's such a criminal that he had to make a deal with those two. Who's the guy? When they shot the prime minister back in Yitzhak Rabin back in the day. That group. They're a terror.
Yeah.
I forget the name. But anyway, he had to deal with them. So all this craziness, they want like. For example, let's say somebody called the Hannibal Directive on a certain day at a certain rave outside a certain concentration camp. That's what those psychopaths wanted, the people backing him. So he's in he's being, how Israel blackmails all Americans? They got everything on him, I guess, these two maniacs from those groups. So he's going to just ride it till the doors fall off or our doors fall off. That's his plan. But real good. It's all his friends and stuff talking about him. It's not, like an Arab or something. You don't have to trust an Arab. You can hear it from Jews.
All right, let's do one more segment. Let's do one more segment. All right. There's a parade coming to Washington, D.C. It's to celebrate the military. And here's some footage. The footage of a tank that's going to be a part of the celebration that Trump is having in D.C. It coincides with his birthday, but in Trump's defense, this is not apparently just a birthday celebration. Apparently, there have been plans for a while for a 250th anniversary celebration of the military, which happens to coincide, luckily, for Trump with his birthday. And
did they get him? Did they get him $1 trillion? What was that?
They got him $1 trillion Pentagon budget. That's right. There it is. And so lots of tanks are coming in for the party. And Trump, though, has a warning for anybody who might think about spoiling the parade.
Big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way,
China. We're China now. China.
They're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest. But, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. Thank you very much, everybody.
So this is hilarious. He doesn't say, first of all, violent protests will be met with heavy force. He just says protests will be met with heavy force. And then he says, well, the funniest part is he says he hasn't even heard of any protests. But just in case, he wants to issue a warning. Let's hear that one more time.
They're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest. But, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with.
Was this the setup of Animal House? This is like Animal House. Don't ruin my parade.
There will be protests. There's protests going on across the country, which Trump claims he hasn't heard of. But
well, because they don't matter and they will affect nothing, and you have your vote doesn't matter, and it's going to happen whether you want it or not. Get used to it. That's America.
Here's the White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, being asked about Trump's vow to meet protests with overwhelming force.
The president warned that any protests on Saturday would be met with force. Can you clarify what kind of protest President Trump does support or find acceptable?
The president absolutely supports peaceful protests. He supports the First Amendment. He supports the right of Americans to make their voices heard. He does not support violence of any kind. He does not support assaulting law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job. It's very clear for the president what he supports and what he does not. Unfortunately for Democrats, that line has not been made clear, and they've allowed this unrest and this violence to continue, and the president has had to step in.
One question. So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
Okay, well, he didn't make it clear when he warned about heavy force. He just said protests will be met with heavy force. So I think it's a fair question to ask.
Yeah, it is a fair question. But I mean, remember BLM when he didn't roll out any of this for the violent, the fiery but peaceful protests? I bet he's got a bad taste in his mouth from that because from that fake ass thing that every chump liberal went for, right? People gave money and put a black square on their Instagram. This one, if somebody's protesting about ICE at this, I don't think you're for real. Or you're illegal and you should get kicked out. The ICE thing seems so manufactured to bring about Palantir control to me. Like, who is advocating that the actual agency of ICE shouldn't do its job? And they're really doing that for real, and they're not an NGO. Like, who would be doing that?
Well, a lot of people don't want ICE raiding immigrant communities and cracking down on people who are just trying to go to work and aren't committing serious crimes. I mean, not everyone supports that.
Coming in illegally. Get out. It's illegal.
A lot of people
driving the labor down.
All right. Well, this gets into the whole debate. I mean, a lot of people feel like they have no other choice because in their home countries, they face persecution and there's no opportunity, so they come here. Like many people have. But listen, someone who's not happy about Trump's military parade is Rand Paul, who thinks it costs way too much money.
Tad gauche.
Parade that's going to take place. Some Democrats are saying it's a waste of money.
Yeah. Never been a big fan of goose-stepping soldiers in big tanks and missiles rolling down the street. So if you ask me, I wouldn't have done it. I'm not sure what the actual expense of it is, but I'm not really. We were always different than the images you saw of the Soviet Union and North Korea. We were proud not to be that, and I'm not proposing that that's the image people want to project, but I'm worried about the image that it isn't necessarily the best image to show.
Yeah, well, that's a good point from Rand Paul there.
I'm not saying that Trump wants to be a fascist, but that's the image he's projecting by having a giant military parade, costing a lot of money, by the way, which Trump, in his defense, does say is not going to be paid for by the taxpayers. But we'll see about that.
It's not. Who's it paid for by? Is Israel paying for something one time?
Israel should be paying for it. Although if Israel pays for it,
picking up the check for a parade.
Yeah, if Israel is paying for it, that means we're paying for it ultimately. But Trump actually says that he'll be paying for some of the cost, which I'll believe when I see.
Weird. Oh, that's weird. Also, I no longer believe he's in control of the country, and I'm pretty sure ever since the guy when the MS-13 tattoo, where the guy just got fired off ABC, was like, no, that's not on his knuckles, and Trump thought the actual MS-13 pointing at the symbols was written on the knuckles. That was a very frightening. Then I watched Steve Miller lie to his face about the Supreme Court decision on camera. He goes, we won that decision 9-0. Well, he lost 9-0. Right, Steve? Steve goes, yeah, that's right, G. Like, he's not in control. Let's face facts that this is all fake.
All right, we're gonna wrap the show there. Kurt, I'm glad we caught you for one segment. Any shows do you want to plug coming up? You're doing live?
I'm doing. I'm in Austin, so I mean, it's some other shit you can see me at. But go to KurtMeisterComedy.com because I'm going to be in Houston and Dallas back at Hyenas. I think July. And I think I'm going to Hilarities July 5th actually in Cleveland. Anybody from Cleveland? Hilarities, great club. I'm going to be playing Hilarities with my new hour show.
Oh, nice! Your new hour. Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna record it here pretty soon.
So we'll get a special.
Yeah, I'm gonna record a special here, and then
that's great. It's been a while since you had a special.
It's been I had a half-hour one with Gas Digital, but an hour I haven't done since 2013. I had made one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you'll be. I'm looking at your website. You'll be in Dallas, Texas, from 4 shows starting July 18th.
Yes. Yeah. Good old Dallas Hyenas. Great club. I love that club.
All right, let's send it back to Misha, and I'll sign off for the day. Good
to
see you.
Right.
Bye, Misha.
Oh, hey. Wait, Kurt. Bye, Aaron. Thank you for hosting. We'll see you Friday. We've got a couple questions for you, Kurt. One is, what was the documentary that you were talking about?
Oh, I'll text it. Okay, Ian Carroll. I don't know what. Candace is smart to get Ian Carroll. Candace, what's her head? Because he does some good work, and he did a whole thing about this documentary. You can find it on the Candace Owens channel on YouTube. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. And it's called. Let me just get you the name of the doc. Because it got taken off of every streaming service. Because remember how Bibi was about to be drummed out of office for being one of the most, and Israel, believe it or not, they send a lot of their politicians to jail. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know
We
that.
never did that here. They actually have done that because like one of their prime ministers went to prison for rape, for example. Kind of a weird, imagine if they prosecuted an American president for that.
Right, they'd all be gone.
Yeah, so the BB Files. Let's see.
It's called the BB Files?
Yep, the BB Files. It's at www.jolt.film. And it was made with his with friends of his talking about him. And you could see the Adelsons. You could see the old man Adelson and old lady and the Adelson widow who's younger than you would have thought, I guess, obviously. And she's talking about what a scumbag his wife is and how corrupt they are to cops. So that was purposely suppressed. You know, like I bet you Barstool Sports, Portnoy. I put up a link to it on my Twitter. This makes a perfect gift for Dave Portnoy. Because something I noticed about all my friends that were Zionists, none of them know anything about Israeli politics. Like it's not even their business. Isn't that weird? Yeah. And then when you look into Israeli politics, you're like, wow, this is very strange. This doesn't seem like a I guess you know what? I'm right. It is a Western style democracy in that it's fake and they're all mafia thieves. So they got us there on that one.
Well, Kurt, I think there might have been one other question in the chat for you today. Well, Fret Pound wanted to say, nobody rumbling, happy to jump in, enjoying the show with Aaron, Kurt, and Nisha. Kurt, any cool shirts today?
I haven't gone. I'm going to check when I get to the mothership because I have, I don't know, Story Wars or something. So I'm hoping that my sweet, because I think Fret Pound said I was going to get there around now, my shirts, my Samson Option t-shirts. So if I can wear my sweet Samson Option t-shirt, I will do that. There will be pictures.
Okay, so hopefully you've got it by Friday and you can wear it on the show.
Otherwise, I'll go with Hannibal Directive, which I got from Fret Pound.
Well, Kurt, I just have a few more chats. You're welcome to stick around, but you also don't have to.
Were they like, don't tell Aaron these chats? What? No, I'm dead.
Okay, all right. Let's see. John N. Davis deep dive is great. Thanks for having him on. Thank you, John, for the chat. R. Dean, at this point, I'm convinced Trump hates this country. He's destroying it at the behest of the deep state.
There's not like one deep state. It's like saying the Jews. That's like a silly thing. There's not the Jews. There's a bunch of factions and tribes, right? It's like the deep state. That's not, there's one faction, there's another faction. They kill each other's guy all the time.
Right. They've
been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Nixon, like they ran Nixon first. Kennedy gets killed, then Nixon gets run out. Then I think that Rockefeller tried to kill Ford using squeaky foam. George H.W. Bush tried to kill Reagan, I think, with Hinckley, right? There's all the vice presidents are always taking pot shots at the president if you really look at it. So you can't really just say it's like the deep state, the good guy won. It doesn't work. It's like very complex, and a lot of rich, psychopathic, generational serial killers and what have you. So
Right.
it's like Game of Thrones. You know how Game of Thrones is all complicated? Think of it like that.
Everybody's got their own little deep state. Like it's like their team, and they fight each other, and that's what it looks like.
Once you have all the money in the world, the next kind of money is secrets. After that, the next currency is secrets above money.
Ooh, yeah,
I was told that, and I believe it.
That makes sense. W2 the third says, any thoughts as to Rockfin's decision to make all of their video views be premium content only? The guys at INN covered this yesterday. Yeah,
I have no idea.
I thought all of their content was behind a paywall. So
I thought Rockfin wasn't even a thing anymore. Was I wrong about that?
It seemed like it wasn't going to be a thing. They completely changed how they handled money. Like it used to be.
It's not NFT based anymore.
No, they started doing cash. They started doing dollars.
Oh,
and
they didn't. No, they go to bricks money of that, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the W second, the third, I don't know. I thought Rockfin was always premium content. And
So
you had
did
to pay
I.
for that.
Yeah, I remember when they pitched it to me. By the way, years ago now, that it was all premium. We were all getting a cut of the, like how a cable channel gets.
Right.
But I didn't even do it on there. I think I wasn't even on there. I ended up working on Jimmy Show all the time, and I didn't get it going on there, so I never did anything with it. But my new one, Dirt with Kurt's, coming out very soon. I got a nice setup.
Oh, very nice. Well, everybody's looking forward to that. So definitely keep us posted. And hey, that's the last chat, everyone. That's it. Thank you for sticking around for a couple of those. You were requested all show long, Kurt. The fans wanted to know where you were.
Sorry, I live in a place where the bugs are the size of crabs, and there's frequent thunderstorms, and internet just doesn't work because some weird hobo did something to a pole down the road.
So are you in a thunderstorm again right now, or this is
probably hobo crime.
This is hobo. Okay.
Hobo sounds quaint, does it? It's not. It's like coyote, like fentanyl meth heads. They're not like a fun. There's no bindle sticks. Although I did see a guy with a bindle stick the other day. I swear to God, a bindle stick, but he had a plastic bag on it.
I don't know. Oh, that's
the handkerchief on a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a guy with that, but he used a plastic shopping bag.
That's very like vintage. I like that he's bringing it back.
They're bringing back squeegee men here. I ain't seen that since New York in the
I don't know what
late 90s, when somebody just starts rubbing a squeegee on your windshield without your.
Yeah, and then you have to pay
whether
them.
you like it or not. It's a quaint practice from New York that Giuliani ground them up and fed them to other squeegee men, and they stopped. But this, I don't know, dude. The cop, like I said, the cops will tell you to buy a gun. That's the advice you'll get, and they'll be like, "We're not really telling you, but you can." That's how they do it.
Oh wow. All right. Well, that's it, everyone. We will see you back on Friday, and you'll be here, Kurt, Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll see you Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific. All right. Bye, Kurt. Bye, everyone. Catch Jimmy on the road in the UK.
So long.